Field noted in its 1990 book that teaching is about making some kind of dent in the world, so that it is different than before you practiced your craft. Now, full disclosure, that is one of my favorite professory quotes. But beyond that, my truth is that I believe everyone is a teacher, and more importantly, everyone should make some kind of dent in the world. Now, you may be asking, what does this exactly have to do with things? This is one of the many reasons why I chose and was drawn to the Knauss School of Business. You see, for me, it was this chance to make impact. And of course, the beautiful building that you saw, which, by the way, I've probably seen that film a bit more times than average, and it's still amazing to me. In all seriousness, though, the building truly just manifests the transformations that we perceive for our students on the inside of it. It's this ecosystem where students learn not just how to do good business, but they learn to do business that would make a dent in the world. Just like these 7 storytellers we'll hear from this fine evening. We'll hear about their stories, their trials, their triumphs. We'll hear about the amazing impact that they made and their lessons learned. But before their stories, I would like to tell you one of my own. Excuse me, my mother would be so upset. She said, before you walk into, or as you walk into any room, you should introduce yourself. Pardon my manners. My name is Dr. Nakeisha Lewis, and I am the proud inaugural Associate Dean of Student Success at the Knauss School of Business. Now, let me be real with you. Just like these 7 storytellers, we are far more than our title can kind of capture. So I'll give you a bit of my backstory. I am from the love of a teacher and a janitor that somewhat later turned into a master electrician. My father originates from the streets, the dirt roads of Chula, Mississippi in the 1950s. And my mother, she has taught for many, many years in the city with the big arch. That's St. Louis. Now, I am from a place where you better be home by the street lights came on is a natural thing, both for my protection and for respect. I am from long Sundays of gospel music that often trickle throughout my week. But most importantly, even if my colleagues and peers in my neighborhood never understood, I was always from education unlocks doors. And for that, I took that to heart. As the 17-year-old, I headed off to study business marketing, expecting to change the world, recognizing that people in the boardroom may not look like me, but I was about to make that different. And so I pushed. I walked into these huge lecture halls, and I could literally count on one hand how many folks look like me. But I pushed on. I went on to get a master's degree from the first journalism school in the world and worked in marketing for a while. And that was great, but the classroom called me because education unlocks doors. And indeed it did. In 2008, with some great mentors in the PhD program, I became the 5th Black person to attain a PhD from UT Austin in advertising. And while that was awesome, that was nice, that is people's typical response. And in that, being the first and the few or one of the only can feel cool, but it can also feel lonely. And so in that moment, I got an idea. I knew exactly what dent I wanted to make in the world. I didn't want to be an FFO. First, few, or only anymore. In fact, I wanted to be a paver. I wanted to be what my mother called a dent maker. I wanted to pave roads of access for others where they could see those boardrooms and they can have financial freedoms and they can make new strides. It's in that moment that I got my fuel. And thinking back now, all the way from those streets in the Midwest, I am here in sunny San Diego at the Knauss School of Business, continuing to make dents and being a paver. As Don and Ellie Knauss has told us, it is our job to create opportunities for young people so that they can make impact and, of course, change the world. And that's exactly what I expect to do. So for you, tonight, as you listen to these 7 amazing storytellers, I leave you with one last question. How will you make a dent in the world so that it is different, better than what it was before you practiced your craft.